Let's get into it, y'all.
My face, my body. Down my face, my body. Down my face, my body, yeah. Down my face. Shoot them tea at the party. Down my face like I'm card. At that place like a bar. I do what I want, I ain't sorry, no. That's the hoe, let me borrow her. Caught the whole cheat, now you beating her up. That ain't P, I'm gonna let the hoe go. You know that P, I'm gonna fuck me 3 more. I ain't even make that play,
Let's get it, y'all. Yo, chat, we're back to another episode, Beyond the Stats Daily. I said Beyond the Stats Devil, the Alchemist Daily on the Social Prosperity Network, where we align well for well-being. Today we're going to talk about a lot, but we got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about Mercury Retrograde. We're going to talk about Elon Musk and them boys. We're going to tap into a lot, bro. But first thing I want to tap into, bro, actually is like some conspiracies, bro. Some conspiracy theories that I started off with, bro. Operation Fishbowl is one of the ones, bro. The SpaceX video, bro. Let me see if I can find that. SpaceX actually just sent like a rocket into space and shit. That's what made me think of it. Think of Operation Fishbowl. They like sent it. They like tried to send it into space. Actually, I don't know if they got it through, but that shit was kind of insane. Like seeing the firmament and shit. Let me see if I can find that video real quick for y'all. Ooh, I should have had that already ready, y'all. Legend it. Here we go. Let me see if I can share my screen real quick with y'all. Boom, let's get to it. Let's watch this real quick, actually. What the fuck? Nah, that's insane, bro. Like, we really live in the firmament, bro. But in the Bible, it says that shit, he separated the heavens from earth, bro. Like, with a firmament, bro. The waters from waters or some shit. I forgot how the exact quote I don't want to say. Don't take me about word, bro. But let's go read that in the Bible. I think that's like in the first couple verses, bro, of the Bible, bro. But let's talk about Operation Fishbowl, bro. When they were trying to bomb and test the firmament, bro. Let's get into that video.
Operation Fishbowl is real. That's not the conspiracy. In 1962, the United States detonated nuclear weapons at extremely high altitudes over the Pacific during Operation Fishbowl, part of Operation Dominic. One of the tests, Starfish Prime, exploded nearly 250 miles above Earth. The blast was so powerful it knocked out streetlights in Hawaii, damaged satellites, and created artificial radiation belts that lingered for years. Now here's where the conspiracy begins. Why detonate nukes that high? Officially, it was to study missile defense and electromagnetic pulse effects. Critics argue that explanation doesn't match the scale or altitude. The theory says these tests weren't just about weapons, they were about probing the upper boundary of the atmosphere itself. Some connect it to earlier military language about a space barrier. Others point to biblical references about a firmament. The idea isn't flat Earth. It's that the upper atmosphere may function differently than publicly described. After Fishbowl, high-altitude nuclear testing essentially stopped. Treaties were signed, experiments halted, the sky was left alone. If it was just weapons research, why did it end so abruptly? Comment if detonating nukes at the edge of space feels like more than target practice.
Your next breakthrough might be one book away. I've partnered with Amazon to create an influencer storefront with all the self-improvement books that help me reprogram my mind, and they can help you change how you think, move, and see this reality. All of these books and many more help me reprogram my mindset and help me make this content that I make for y'all weekly. It helped me become way more aware and align wealth with well-being. Click the link so you can reprogram your mind and create your dream reality. Love you guys. Let's get back to the video. Hey, no. Facts, but that shit kind of insane though, bro. Like, niggas be trying to get out of here, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I heard for one of the first people I heard talk about this shit. Like, them niggas is demons. Like, they can't leave Earth. All they can do is create new shit here and transfer their bodies and shit here. They cannot leave the planet, bro. Like, these niggas stuck here. They can't go to heaven in a sense. Like, for real, bro. And that shit crazy. Like, how they try to bomb that shit and get through there. Like, it started make you question like, how these niggas even actually been to the moon and shit. Those conspiracies, they go get on my ass, be like, they conspiracy theorists, bro. But you gotta realize they created the word conspiracy theories to discredit a lot of people that speak truth, to make you think that they think those people that speak truth are evil or just talking this shit or what's the word? How do you say that shit? Like, niggas losing their mind and shit. Like, bro, I don't think that's how that shit go. I think they just trying to discredit people and shit, bro. But let's get into another fucking, another one. We got a lot of fucking projects we finna talk about, bro. Let's talk about Project Bluebeam, bro. Like, how these niggas how a lot of shit, they could project some shit in the sky, bro, and like make this shit seem so fucking real. Let's get into it.
Their plan is to create, eventually, an hoax, a threat from outer space, to try to unite the world, like Independence Day, the movie, in a sort of a military global junta of humans against aliens. It's all nonsense. It's BS. But it sells well. It sells movies, it sells tickets, it sells books.
This is the Bluebeam, Project Bluebeam?
Yeah, that related to that. And I've met with many men who've been on operationally, like literally have been operational in those programs. Now, it went from really clunky stuff, like the Betty and Barney Hill abduction. People think that was alien. It wasn't. It was us. Late 50s, early 60s. And I think President Obama's actually working on a documentary about that. And it was an interracial couple, a very interesting story. But most people have no idea what really happened with that. And this is one of the really disturbing parts of this archive, is what are the technologies that are in the hands of these sort of monsters? And how have they used it to deceive the public, but also deceive policymakers and presidents?
No, facts. That shit kind of insane. Like, what if them niggas, like, do a Project Bluebeam and, like, try to start the New World Order on some shit, like, and try to bring all the countries under one guidance or one leader? Bro, that shit insane. Like, that shit insane, because what could be true and what could happen. Like, even, like, the sky, but we don't know what's real and what's fake. You niggas be spraying the sky half the time, like, with chemtrails and shit, bro. Like, you niggas be doing a lot of bullshit, bro. That shit be kind of scary when you start peeping that shit. That shit be insane, bro. Let's get into the next project that we're going to talk about is Project Stargate, bro. That shit was insane, too. Let's get into that one.
In the 1970s, while the public was busy watching moon landings and political scandals, a quieter revolution was happening behind secure walls. The CIA, together with the U.S. Army and Stanford Research Institute, launched something called Project Stargate, a classified initiative into psychic phenomena. It began with remote viewing. Sounds harmless, even silly, right? But what they found quickly crossed into territory that left even career intelligence officers shaken. Remote viewing, in its basic form, is the ability to perceive locations or events without being physically present. Not imagine, not guess, perceive. The CIA didn't just flirt with this. They poured millions into it. And not just to explore it, they used it. Some operatives trained under this program reportedly located hostages and described military bases with astonishing detail. But something even more strange started emerging. The most gifted viewers weren't just describing things far away. They were describing things outside of time. Ancient events, future ones, and often, versions of reality that slipped the grip of linear thought. Physicist Russell Targ, one of the lead scientists in the Stargate program, later wrote a book almost no one talks about, Limitless Mind, 2004. In it, he claimed the mind is not bound by the brain. He compared consciousness to a field, a non-local presence that can expand, contract, and exist beyond space-time. That same idea appeared, quite boldly, in a declassified 1983 report known as the Gateway Process.
Facts, bro. And like, the Gateway Program, bro, and the Gateway Process, they were talking about that. Candace Owens brought that shit up with Charlie Kirk and shit, how he said that they both went through that Gateway Program, bro. That's kind of insane that, bro, we don't even learn about this shit, bro. But you can go look in the files and you go see them studying remote viewing. I think this shit was happening in the 60s, nigga. Them niggas like been like they be testing on us. Like they have test studies and all type of weird shit, bro. You can go look in the files. This shit all documented and out there for public knowledge, bro. But the next thing I want to talk about, bro, let's get away from the conspiracy theories, bro. Let's get into some real world things, bro. Let's tap into some real world things. But first thing I want to talk about, bro, is Mercury Retrograde, bro. We in Mercury Retrograde right now, bro. You know, like you probably heard people saying like Mercury is in retrograde. That's why everything's going wrong. Our phone glitching, plans changing, our texts starting to get misunderstood, technology's acting weird. But what does Mercury retrograde actually mean, bro? And why has it become such a powerful concept in astrology and with astrologists, bro? You know what I'm saying? Mercury retrograde isn't Mercury literally moving backward in space. What's happening is an optical illusion from Earth's perspective because planets orbit the sun at different speeds. You feel me? It just looks that way from Earth, literally, bro. In astrology, though, bro, Mercury represents communication, thinking, travel, information, and technology. It's the planet connected to how we talk to each other, how we process ideas, and how messages move through the world. So when Mercury appears to move backwards, you know what I'm saying? We say, astrologers like me, you like to say that like it can cause miscommunication, delays in travels, people from the past resurfacing, technology issues, phone moving slow, glitching and shit. You know, and not to just do dumb shit, bro. Like I like to tell people, bro, don't tap in with old people or old relationship, bro. Like I can speak on this shit, nigga. Last night, nigga, my dream, bro, I got married to my ex, like from high school, gang. Like what the fuck? It was some weird, goofy shit. I love her though. Like I still love her and shit. It ain't no weird shit, but it's just like that shit was awkward as fuck. Like I don't even think it. Like nigga ain't think about it. Text that. Like I don't even know last time I texted that shit was fucking weird as fuck. But like that's a good example of like Mercury retrograde. Like that shit was insane, bro. A lot of people they revisit these old relationships, these old ideas, or these old decisions that they used to make, bro. You know what I'm saying? That shit kind of be insane, bro. But you gotta think of it like you gotta slow down and change your direction. And I mean, check your direction before you like actually take that action, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Double check the messages and emails, bro. Backing up your data and your technology, bro. Being patient with traveling, being patient with signing new leases, getting new houses, making poor financial decisions, bro. Reflecting instead of forcing big decisions, taking your time, bro. I think this shit end March 20th, if I'm not mistaken, bro. And like, you don't be fearful and shit. It's just about being aware and mindful of what season we in right now, bro. You know what I'm saying? Mercury retrograde reminds us that progress isn't always linear. Sometimes growth happens when we pause, revisit the past, and gain clarity from that before the next chapter begins, bro. For real. But we're gonna get into another topic, bro. Luke Cornett in the Magic City, bro. Niggas mad as fucking Luke Cornett and shit, bro. Like, that shit kind of insane to me, bro. But, like, Magic City is a club, bro, in Atlanta, bro. You know, Lou Will, probably the NBA basketball player that really turned that shit up. That I really learned that shit from, bro. BMF, fool. Nigga learned that shit from BMF show. That's my first time actually seeing that shit. But Luke Cornett called it out Magic City night that the Atlanta Hawks are promoting, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the Hawks decided to lean to that culture and announce something called Magic City Monday for their game against Orlando Magic. Magic City is in Atlanta, bro, actually, bro. The promotion was supposed to celebrate Atlanta culture. They were planning things like lemon pepper wings, Lou Will, if you know, you know, which Magic City is like, you know, they famous for and shit, bro. But Luke Cornett decided to step in and criticize the whole thing, bro. Cornett said he believed the NBA should protect and respect women. And I actually agree on that shit, bro. Like, I agree with this shit so much, bro. Like, he argued that celebrating a strip club could promote the objectifying our women, bro. And I agree with this shit. Like, his perspective was basically the NBA is supposed to be a family-friendly product. Kids watch these games. Families go to the arenas. And promoting something tied to a strip club might send the wrong message. Hold on, y'all. My bad, y'all. I get back into my nigga and they hoe horny as hell and shit. Nigga need some pussy for my bad, y'all. Excuse the women, though. Look at that. But he publicly questioned whether the event should happen at all, bro, and all this shit. And like, should they be promoting something tied to a strip club? Might send the wrong message to the fans, bro. And to the NBAs, you know, it's a multi-billionaire company, bro. And once he said that, the internet went crazy because a lot of people pushed back hard against what he said, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's Atlanta culture, black culture. But what I like to say about this is like it's two different points of view to this, bro. It's the Atlanta side as a black nigga. The nigga in me is like, bro, what the fuck he talking about? Honestly, the nigga in me is like, what the fuck he talking about? Let this shit slide. But the God in me is like, bro, that shit is bogus. We always put women in these negative limelights, and we just look at women as sex and bitches and hoes and this and that. I don't think that's good to objectify women, like Luke Cornett said. I don't think that's good. But that happens a lot in the black culture, bro, where we promote the wrong things. We promote the wrong messages in the music, the wrong messages with our women. And I'm not perfect, bro. Like, I swear I'm not perfect, nigga. I be on the same shit. So I can understand where Luke Cornett coming from. We do need to stop that shit, especially in the black community as a black man speaking on that shit. But I can see where everybody else coming from as well, bro. But guess who talked about this shit, bro? Fucking Draymond Green. Let's listen to Draymond Green talk.
I object to what Luke Cornett is saying. And the reason I object, as a man with a wife, as a man with daughters, as a man with sisters, and as a man with an amazing mother and an amazing grandmother and incredible aunts and nieces, Magic City is an establishment that was built by Mr. Magic, a business that he has had for over 30 years now, extreme success, with an option for females to work there. To point to protecting women or their esteem, you also have an option to go to that establishment. And people have been making that choice for 30 years, from the workers to the customers, making that choice for 30 years. I think to point out that they have esteem issues because that's the line of work they chose, I actually think is less protective of women, because you're condemning something as if it's actually an art. Like, I don't know if you've ever been, but like if you see it in action, it's actually a form of art that some choose to indulge in and some choose not to indulge in. But to say that because a woman decides that that's the art that they want to partake in, and that the customer wants to take in, I think is reflective on society's thoughts and how they once viewed things. But I don't necessarily think it's a hit on the esteem of women. When you talk about the esteem of these women, might I mention that Cardi B is currently on a world tour selling out stadiums, and it is quite the entertaining show. I actually went at Chase Center a few days ago, selling out stadiums. And her background would be that. I don't think Cardi B has esteem issues. So I think that's actually a negative vantage point on these women that are in this line of work.
I can see where Draymond coming from. Yes, if you want to normalize the BS and this and that. And I want to ask you this, though. Would Cardi B want her kid to be a stripper? Maybe so, maybe not. But most likely where she's at now, knowing what she knows now, most likely she's not going to want her daughter to do that. Draymond, would you want your daughter to be a stripper? Most likely not, especially where you at now. Even hear what you're saying, your parents are good people and this and that. And I don't think that's normal. We shouldn't normalize, strip culture, OnlyFans culture. We normalize too much shit. We normalize the bullshit, bro. That's the only problem I got with this shit, the normalization of bullshit. I think that's insane that we try to normalize the bullshit. So I kind of disagree with Draymond on that. I ain't gonna say I disagree. I don't know. I don't agree, nigga. I don't agree. Yeah, I think that's insane to say that, because you wouldn't want your daughter to be doing that shit, and on God, you wouldn't want your daughter to do that shit. So, yeah, that shit kind of insane, bro. Let me know what y'all think, though, bro. We're gonna actually end it on that. This is another episode of Devil Albums Daily, bro. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow's gonna be what that is. Actually, we'll be back Monday. Today's Friday right now, so this is gonna be the last episode this week. But we'll be back Monday. We're gonna be talking about mental health on Monday, Mental Health Monday. So I'll see y'all guys next week. I love y'all guys. 444, like, comment, and subscribe. If you love your family, this is one of the smartest moves you can ever make. Real talk, if something happened to you tomorrow, could your family take care of the bills, your rent, or even your funeral costs? Most people think life insurance is for later. Later isn't always promised, as we all know. Life insurance isn't about you dying, it's about your people living. It's having a peace of mind, knowing your partner, your kids, and your wife won't be left struggling. And here's the thing, the younger and healthier you are, the cheaper it is. Don't wait for someday, protect your future today. If you love your family, this is one of the smartest moves you can ever make. Hit the follow button above if you want to learn how to protect what matters most.